women in my world, in my experience, are struggling to find how do they market themselves appropriately to the men who are available. And how is it that oftentimes what I see is women coming in saying, I keep finding these guys who don't accomplish much in their lives, who seem to show up without thinking about what they're wearing or what they're doing or how they're going to behave or have bad etiquette, and not show up and follow up on their phone calls or texts or whatever. And in some ways, it's like they're looking for an attractive woman who's going to look the way they want them to look, but they're not thinking about and not pressured to kind of show up and market themselves. So there's kind of a subtle way of marketing oneself in a dating situation. Mm-hmm. So you can see how women are dressed to the nines, and then the guy shows up in a t-shirt and sloppy pants, and it's like there's an expectation that you should accept me just the way I am because I'm an animal. I'm a guy. And so I think there's the objectification of age altogether. When you're younger, you look better, and those objects that are sexual, genital, attractiveness seems to give you greater value. So women feel inadequate, and it's not about their accomplishments, their capacities, their earning capacities, as much as I won't be as beautiful and I won't be looked at. I become invisible. Back to teenage girls who are coming out into the world, men are really not, I think men have a hard time tracking. Are you a 20-something? Like if I look at you now and I look at women who are girls who are becoming women, it's really hard to tell because our magazines and all the stuff that's selling things are really models who are teenagers but are dressed up to be adult. So it's really hard to tell what's an adult and what's a teenager and what can I expect. But then I just end up looking at, wow, you're beautiful. I want to be just like that. I want that. And so it's easy for men to think that it's just served up for them. And what is it that I did? Sure, hitchhiking. A lot of people were doing it. I was doing it. It seemed safe. I trusted somebody. The idea that I can't trust anybody, that I have to be vigilant, and it's my problem that I trusted somebody, that's a problem. That's a problem. I should be able to trust that I could go to the store and not be harassed, and I should be able to go where I need to go without feeling afraid that I'm going to be raped. And walking down the street, growing up in Detroit, going all over the world, that feeling like I'm afraid in my body that somebody's going to see me as a body and hurt me and use me and throw me off or kill me is just not a way to live. And so I felt like I needed to understand it. I needed to understand myself, and through the understanding of myself to see, wow, there's a lot of screwed up things out there in the world, and I'm a victim of it, and I don't accept it. I tried to get myself cleaned up so that I didn't look so bad, not because I'm objectifying myself, but because I appreciate beauty. And that's different than making it all about and only about whether I look good or how you're going to think about how I look, and then it becomes this whole other thing. So now you see Dewar's Scotch, you see stuff selling anything, everything, pudding, I mean, it's ridiculous. Now we've started to have sitcoms that are back retro to the old stuff of talking about women as though we're just objects. It's like we went back to sleep. And so now we have a new generation of boys who think they should have sex when they want it. They're hitting college campuses. The rape, the numbers for girls who are having sexual predation with dating is risen. It's like it's not uncommon for college campuses to have rape or the boys to be attacked. So it's like we've gone back in time. We forgot our, and maybe it was a superficial political correctness, but we need to return to the essence of what's true. We shouldn't be treating each other like this because we actually are living in a violent culture. And it's not just around sex, it's around our rights, what's safe, But women in Kenya, women who are subject to genital mutilation, women who are homeless and poor but beautiful and on the streets of India and the Philippines and Vietnam and Southfield, Michigan, are being picked up, confused, and used in sexual slavery, and are being kidnapped and raised. Or girls in generation after generation in the African American community and other communities are being sold into slavery through prostitution and drug addiction. So it's not just this white middle class and glossy magazine thing that we're talking about. It's far more insidious. That's just the nice look of it. We're not talking about that. We're talking about horrible violence that ends up in a useless waste of beauty and life and another generation and another generation, because these women do end up having children who are not cared for because those mothers are not able to take care of them. So we need to think globally and not just locally and act accordingly.